Hi, I'm Wilhelm, and in this video in the Life Explained series I would like to talk about fairy tales. Now this is a big topic and we could talk for hours about the symbolism of fairy tales, but in this short video I would like to concentrate purely on the spiritual significance and meaning of fairy tales in our lives today. Fairy tales have been around as long as mankind itself. In all cultures people have shared stories from generation to generation. It was only 300 years ago when Charles Perrault for the first time collected some of these stories and wrote them down for children at the time of Louis XIV. Now we often think of the Grimm's brothers when we think of fairy tales, but they wrote down their collection 100 years later. Originally, all these stories were shared amongst adults only, and as such they were pretty racy. So Perrault and Grimm's had to tone down these stories to make them suitable for children. But what is it that makes these stories still so popular today? Why do we go back to them over and over again? What is the spiritual meaning and significance of these stories to us right now? To find that out, let us look at the structure of a typical fairy tale. Firstly, we have the hero in our story. Have you ever wondered why the main characters in fairy tales have no names? Or if so, very generic names like Hansel and Gretel, which were the most common names at the time? They always start something like, once upon a time there lived a young boy, there was a woodcutter, a poor fisherman, there was a prince. Occasionally you will find names like Snow White and Cinderella which reflect their characters or appearance. The reason why the main characters don't have specific names is because they are you and me. This is, by the way, very different in mythologies, where heroes always have names like Hercules or Prometheus. But fairy tale stories are about every human being. They are food for our soul. Fairy tales are metaphors for the growth of our soul. Every character, every item, every action in the story is a symbol which is with a much deeper meaning. They also reflect our personal journey through life here on earth. Now let's have a closer look. Here we have this hero who will go on to his journey. During his journey or quest, he or she will encounter real drama. Often horrific drama. Fairy tales are not afraid to go into gruesome details like killings and murderings or even cannibalism like in Hansel and Gretel. The hero will encounter them all, and in the end he will not only prevail but will become stronger and wiser because of these challenges. Spiritually speaking, he will raise his vibration to a much higher level which will bring him closer to a happy ending. In many cases, that is symbolized as a marriage with a prince or a princess. This, of course, symbolizes the final unification with divinity, also called the unio mystica, the mystical marriage with divinity. We also can call it freedom. This, in a nutshell, is the structure of a fairy tales. Now, let us take a closer look at this drama here. What is this drama? It is nothing but the karmic effect of causes that we have set in this or previous lifetimes coming back to us. Our present is a result of our past thoughts, words and actions coming back to us now. Not as punishment, there is no punishment in the whole universe, but as a learning opportunity to see how our words, thoughts and actions have impacted others. It is an ingenious tool for learning and growing and waking up to the one who we truly are. Everything is arranged for the benefit of the hero, even if it never looks that way when facing witches, devils and giants and other dangers, but everything happens for the hero and not to the hero. It's a painful process that we have to go through to become who we truly are. We can compare it with a raw diamond, which needs the painful and cruel work of the cutter, the grinder and the polisher to bring out the dazzling beauty in the end. This, by the way, is also what the alchemists hoped to achieve when they tried to turn lead into gold. By the way, many alchemists believed that fairy tales contained the secret formula to change an element of lesser value into precious gold. Now, for us to turn into gold, we often require also the burning away of all impurities, of all that binds us and keeps us in a low vibration. Our personal dramas are the way of purification. Furthermore, by overcoming all these challenges, we become more courageous and learn to take charge of our life. Again, that is often shown in the fairy tales when the hero finally takes charge and turns his life around. We see this in the Bremen town musicians chasing away the robbers or Gretel pushing the witch into the oven. But the most important spiritual message that all these fairy tales contain is the fact that at the end there is a guaranteed happy ending. Every life has a happy ending. Every story has a happy ending. There are no exceptions. And that is the law of the universe. This is a friendly universe, as Einstein reminds us. And everything is here to help us and to serve us for the one and only true goal, to return back to divinity. No soul is excluded from this happy ending. There is no eternal damnation. The most horrific criminal will at the end have a happy ending. That is the universal law, the law of grace, that nobody is excluded, and in time everybody will be redeemed. And herein lies the deep and most profound spiritual message of fairy tales. At the end of all our journeys and tribulation, there will be the happy ending waiting for everyone. Knowing this fact is the basis of faith. Faith is knowing that everything that happens to me is the best thing that can ever happen to me. We don't need to understand it or even like it. We can hate it, but deep down we know that it is all here to serve us and bring us closer to the end of our journey, to our Unio Mystica. And in the end, becoming that king through the mystical marriage means that we are now the ruler, and we are no longer ruled by our passions, errors and mistakes of the past, also called karma. We are free. Everything happens for us and not to us. Now, you may say that lives of many people don't seem to be very overwhelming and without any signs of any happy ending. They seem to be in a horrific drama and no hope inside. We have to remember that our book of life consists of many, many chapters. And every lifetime can be compared with one of these chapters. And the chapters themselves can be truly horrific and sad and evil. But they are not the total story. The total story will have a guaranteed happy ending waiting for us. And the good thing is that we have some influence of how to achieve this happy ending faster by using our free will according to the laws of the universe. Simply put, that means to forgive, to ask for forgiveness, make amends, and learn to love everything and everyone. This is how we can skip many of these nasty chapters and come closer to our happy endings, finding freedom. It is all in our hands. Now, to sum it up, everything that we encounter is arranged for our benefit and the final goal of freedom. And the wonderful fairy tales keep reminding us of this fact over and over again.